Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on my VermiBag Max. Now, similar to my urban worm bag, I did have a freezer issue and loaded up the bag with a ton of food, and we're going to see how it's responded. Now, I wasn't planning to do it, although I was planning to have an update because I knew it needed more food in this system. But I ended up really overloading it, so it probably isn't going to need any food this time, but we're going to check it out and see how it's doing after a week of being really loaded up and, see if those worms are working through it or not, as well as they were in the urban worm bag where they really moved up to take it over. So let's take a look at this system and see how it's doing. Okay, the first thing I want to point out is in this corner, it's open and I've got my bug light. I've had that plugged in for a while just because I've had a lot of issues with some fruit flies in here, and once they get in there, they can be hard to get out. So I'm going to move this up out of the way and plug it in so we get a little extra light in here. So let's open this up and take a look. Oh, there's a moth in there. Not sure where he came from, but anyhow, that's happened before. Some of these bins I've run my shirts through and things like that. They'll sometimes get moths. There's still some issues with fruit flies in here, although it's pretty dry. And I've been trying to add this cocoa coir on top that's really dried out, but there's still a lot of fruit flies in here. Not too bad, but it happens. I also seem to be getting, and I haven't seen these in my bins before actually, so I don't know what I added to this. These little guys, these are not worms. Let's see if I can show you up here. Whoops, fell away. Well, let me see if I can find another one. These little like millipedes or something like that. So I don't know what these are, but I've been finding them in this bin and a couple other bins, but these are pretty new. I've never had these in my house before, so I'm not sure what happened to cause these to get into my house and into my bins, but I've been trying to slowly get rid of them when I find them. They're probably harmless, but I don't want a whole lot of stuff in my house typically, in my inside bins here. So let's just go down here. Let's fold this up this way actually so you can see a little better. And as you can see here, I'll hold this right here, worms are definitely working at this. They're all over these corn cobs. I know the lighting isn't great over here. I really need to get a light over top, but lots of fruit flies over here though. But I'm definitely seeing a lot of worms working at these corn cobs, which is great. I was getting a little worried about this bin, but they are really going to town on this, and actually a lot of the food looks like it's also gone. I added a ton of food in here, and it looks like it's all gone. Actually, this looks like this is a piece of plastic. You take that out of here. And it looks like these are some nice, healthy worms. As you can see right here, there's a whole lot of healthy worms in here. So this bin is doing much better than it was. After I had the bokashi in here, where it really kind of killed everything off, it's doing much better. There's still some issues with some paper in here. Hopefully this will slowly also get eaten away. And a lot of paper on the side here, but actually I'm beginning to wonder if this might need another feeding. I didn't expect this. These corn cobs are pretty weak. They actually break apart. These are corn cobs I added from my frozen, when my freezer broke down. So these are not ones I went through the bokashi system. This one's still a little firm. This one's softer. So that one rips apart too. But lots of worms in here. I mean, look at this. Not much material. I mean, like I added a ton of food and there's not much of that food left. It's really just the worms and the material. I wonder if they just needed more food to really get moving in here now. So let me just see here. All the food was added in the center here. I just sort of threw it in and it looks like it's moving really well. I mean, I have nice healthy worms. It's a little dry in here maybe. Which can happen with these this type of lid on here, but it looks really good. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to put some of this material down in there. I think I'm going to add some more food. I think this needs more food in here and probably some moisture. So let me go get that, and we'll be right back. All right, so I'm back here. First thing we're going to do, we're going to add some water in here, just to kind of get some moisture back in here, because it does look like it's drying out a little bit. Give those worms a chance to kind of bury down in there a little bit. We're going to put a little bit of this, more of this cocoa coir on there. So we're just going to kind of bury this in there a little bit. That's a little bit dry, but that's okay. because we're going to be adding some food on top of it. Another piece of plastic on here? No, it's not. Okay. So the next thing I want to add, though, before we add the food in here, is I'm going to add in, and when you do this, remember, you should be having a mask on or something, which I'm going to grab here in just a second. So when you do this, you want to have a mask on, because this stuff really isn't good to breathe. But I'm going to add some shell, some of my crushed eggshell all over the top here. I'm going to add quite a bit. As I said, you should have a mask on, and maybe even a vacuum to kind of vacuum up the odors and the, or not odor, but the crushed eggshell that gets into the air. And I'm also going to add, and this is something that's new, and I have got a video on this, but crab shell. So this is crushed up crab shell. Oops, there's chunks in there. And that way, this is going to add some of that grit. It's really needed to break this stuff down. So, but also I found that with this stuff in my bins, I tend to have less issues with fruit flies. I think they don't like the shell that's kind of rough and textured and can kind of hurt them. So now, we're going to add a lot of food. Because they've gone through everything else in here, I'm going to add a whole bunch of banana peels, strawberries, the tops of them that weren't eaten. And then also we have the ends of asparagus here. So this has already been frozen, obviously it still is. That's why I let the worms bury down a little bit. All right, I think this has settled down. I can take off my mask now. So the idea is that I want them to work their way back up into this stuff. I'm going to add a little bit more water. That's going to help hold down the shells that I just put in. I might need my mask back on here if they keep going airborne. But this is going to help hold all this down. And this is going to hopefully bring the worms back up and get them a little bit more chow. I was really shocked at how quickly they worked through. I put quite a bit of food in these bins, and to have them work through it that quickly is quite surprising. So just move that down a little bit. Flip this back over. Just like that. Kind of spread everything out. I think this is ready to go back. And I think I will put the light back there. There were quite a few fruit flies in this bin, and see if I can get them to clear out a little bit more. I know a lot of them just went into my office space down here, or my my office space being my basement where I compost. But this did work really well, and it's actually still doing really well. So I'm going to cover this back up. I'm going to put the light back down where I had it, and we'll continue to work on this and bring this back up. It looks like it's doing really well, though. A lot better than it was in the past after the bokashi. So we're going to leave this light right like that, and hopefully these fruit flies will start heading back into this light and get killed on the light in here. So that's my update for my VermiBag Max. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you want to see any other foods in here or anything, or have any questions, of course, let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching.